Hello students of grade 11, welcome back to school. Now you have to learn through online, which is called e-learning from now onwards. So this is your first class for programming, grade 11, programming. Yeah, welcome back. So your first lesson for the term 3 would be JavaScript Functions. We already did this in term 2, at the end of term 2, but I want to make sure that all of you understand very clearly what JavaScript functions are. There are 3 objectives in this lesson. The first objective is to be able to recollect previous knowledge on functions, just to remind yourself what you learned in term 1. That is your first objective. The second objective is to be able to understand returns and arguments. You have 3 things to learn in this class today. You have to learn what JavaScript functions actually are, and what returns are, and what arguments are. The third objective is to be able to implement functions and returns. You have to be able to code this on Notepad, Notepad++, or on W3 School's editor. You can use any one of this. I will be using W3 Schools since it's easier for us to type the code and view the results in one go. So we shall start, students. This is your booklet for term 3, grade 11, term 3 booklet. So the first topic, like I told you, would be JavaScript functions. JavaScript functions, like we have already discussed before, is something that you create, a function that you create, and you can call it out at any time. It's like calling a name. If your class teacher comes to your class and calls out Abdullah, if he or she says, Abdullah, please come out, what does Abdullah do? Abdullah will stand up and come out of the class, right? The function works the same way. You give a name to a function. Example, you can give any name. Let's say I name a function Abdullah. If I call out Abdullah in a classroom, Abdullah stands out and comes out, right? The same way, if I say function Abdullah, what it does is whatever is planned to do when function Abdullah runs will be executed. I hope you understand this. Let me show you a practical example of this. Okay, like I always say in classes, students, from HTML to here, this is just HTML. This is not JavaScript, this is basic HTML. JavaScript is always in between script and close script. This highlighted portion or the selected portion is JavaScript. JavaScript doesn't go beyond script, or it doesn't go above script. It's just within this script and close script. So let me explain what happens within this script and close script. Before that, let me tell you what you have here. You have a paragraph which says a function that could create a simple alert box. If I say run, it creates an alert box. And you also have this paragraph on the website. This is where the results come. This is the W3 School editor. So it's easier for me to show you what happened. And then you have the script code which starts the JavaScript. Only here the JavaScript starts. And then you have function go open close bracket. This is where you name a function. You can name this function anything, just like Abdullah's parents' name, Abdullah as Abdullah. You name a function called go. You can always change the name of the function. It could be anything. Let me say Abdullah. Function Abdullah. So the name of this function is Abdullah. Or it could be go, or it could be anything that you wish. Okay, let me say Abdullah. So function Abdullah. This code creates a function called Abdullah. And then from here you open the curly bracket, you open the curly bracket and close the curly bracket. In between these two brackets, these two curly brackets, between the open and closed curly bracket, you could write any code. You could say anything. In between this, what happens is, you name a function called Abdullah, and then between these curly brackets is what happens if you call Abdullah. If I call the student Abdullah, what he does is he stands up and comes out of the class. But if I call the function Abdullah, this is what happens. Within these curly brackets, I put what happens if I call the function Abdullah. According to this code, it creates an alert box saying, welcome to the website. That is what happens if I call function Abdullah. Okay? And then after that, you have something called go. Go is wrong according to this code, because earlier the function was named as go, but I changed it to Abdullah. Okay? Even here, you will have to change it as Abdullah. Abdullah, open and close brackets. And then this semicolon. What this code does is, this is what calls or invokes or executes the function called Abdullah. This is like the class teacher comes to your class and calls out Abdullah. So this is that process. You are saying the function Abdullah to start. Okay, you can start now. This code does that. It starts the function. Without this code, though you created the function called Abdullah, nothing happens. If you want to start this function called Abdullah, you have to do this. You have to create, say, Abdullah, bracket, close bracket, and semicolon. Let's say if the function's name is, let's say, world1, this is the name of the function, then even here you have to change it as world1. Only then this function will start running. I hope this is clear to all of you. Okay. Now let me execute this code and show you the result. According to this code, it has a function called world1, or let me change it back to Abdullah, which is much more comfortable. Change this to Abdullah as well. Now you have a function called Abdullah, and if the function Abdullah is being run, what happens is written between this curly bracket. If I say start Abdullah, it will say alert box. It should create an alert box which says welcome to the website. Okay? So the third code, this is the code which actually starts the function. Without this code, the function will not run. Okay? So I hope you understood all these codes, and this is to close the JavaScript. Close script is to close the JavaScript. Now let me try to run this code. I say run. You should see that the website would say welcome to the website. This means the function Abdullah has been run already. Okay, let me try to change the message. I will change it as welcome to grade 11. I wish you are happy. Let me try to run this, and it should say the same code, the same exact code. Okay. Now, let me show you one thing. Like I told you, this code, the highlighted code, is the one which runs the script actually, runs the function actually. Though the function is already created, it will not work unless this code is there. Let me show you. I will erase this code and then run. Nothing happens. It shouldn't happen. Nothing should happen. But if I put this code back and say run, now it should show me the alert box. I wish or I hope that all of you understood what's happening. We have two more tasks or two more topics to be discussed in today's class. But before that, let me tell you a small summary about what we did now so that you could understand it better. Okay? We were learning about function. A function is something that you create and define or select what happens when you call it. First of all, you create a function and then you create something to happen when you call that function. So I think you understood what a function is. And the third command, this command actually runs the function. Okay? Again, what is a function? A function is when you create something and call it later. You create a function, you assign what happens when you call that function, and then you actually call the function. This is where you create the function. You can give any name, and this is where you select what happens when you call the function between these curly brackets, and this is where you tell the function to actually start. Okay. Now let us move to the other topics that we have to discuss. Hi students.